What's up, doll collectors, hobbyists, fabs, and besties? I'm Toya, an adult doll collector. Welcome to my miniverse and my mini mess. I need to sort my mini brands. I want to focus on the ones that I would use in my dollhouse. I imagine that my dolls like the things that I like raisins. So let's craft a wall box where we can display and store our favorite mini brands. All right, we're gonna need some foam board or cardboard. I have a few scraps of foam board from an old doll room. This was from our Barbie style room that we turned into a retro TV in a recent video. I have some leftover foam board from that makeover that didn't go into that project, so let's reuse it. I'm gonna peel off this scrapbook paper because it's bubbled a little over time. Some of it is glued down pretty good, so we're just gonna let that stay and just remove the parts that are raised. Let's break apart the rest of the foam board, remove what can be removed, and now we can see what we're working with. I have one piece that's 11¼ by nearly 13 inches, and another that is 11 by 18 inches. This one is scored so one side could bend, but I'm thinking I want to use this as my back wall, and we can always just glue that back down. So let's make a mark at the height that we want. For me, that's 13 inches. Cut on the line drawn. Let's repair that cut from a long time ago. So we have a flat board again. I take the leftover and cut 2-inch strips, one for the top and bottom. Let's take the other piece that's not in the best shape and let's cut a few shelves. I was able to cut 4 that are in decent shape. I still have a little bit left. I'm gonna try to use this for the sides, so I lightly draw a line at 2 inches. Then I subtract the width of the foam board and trim them so they can fit between the ceiling and the floor. Now that everything is cut, I want to paint the back because I want it to be a solid color, but I think it's going to warp because this is a pretty thin foam board and I don't have time for drying time. So let's just cover it with a little cardstock. It's 11 inches wide, so one piece can go all the way across. And we'll just have to patch the other parts. I use a glue stick to apply the paper, which should have went smoothly, but it didn't. And I have a few lumps. So I take another piece and cut it into strips, then glue them going straight down with a small space in between. In hindsight, painting probably would have been faster, or could have gone with scrapbook paper, which is what I'm going to use on the floor. I got this scrapbook paper book at Michael's on sale a while back. It's called Eucalyptus Weave. It has a few prints that look like tile to me, so I cover the board that we're using for the floor with it. I don't know, I think the color is off just a little, but maybe we can tie it together with a wood grain. I'm using the wood grain contact paper on the shelves. I cover both sides and the front edge. I cut a few scraps of foam board into 3/4 inch pieces, cover them with the wood grain contact paper. I'm gonna glue them to the board for the ceiling, leaving a little space on the end. Now let's glue everything together. I lightly draw a line every 2¼ inches from the top, so I know where to glue the shelves. That I need to subtract the width of the sides from. Sorry, I forgot to do that earlier. And I didn't realize it until the shelves went all the way across. And now let's glue the ceiling on first. I'm using hot glue, and I have the shorter edge facing up. Then let's add one of the side walls that we covered to match the back. There should be a tiny bit of space on that corner. Now let's add the shelves. I'm gluing mine right under the line marked. Then add the other side and add the floor. Now let's clean up the outside. I'm using more of the wood grain contact paper. However, you could always use scrapbook paper instead. I found another scrap of foam board. I cut a few strips. I glue one at the top, connecting with those boards underneath. Then I cut a thinner strip for the top edge. For a little molding, let's add 2 strips onto the sides, framing it and completing our little shelving unit that we can add to our other doll spaces. This is the inside of our doll van that we made in a previous video. I love the color palette so much that I repeated it with our new pantry. Even though a pantry this size might not be in a van, we're just gonna pretend that it's a small kitchen off to the side and use it to cover the shower that's right here. But from this angle, I think it works. Now let's search through our mini brands to find the ones we would like to display in our miniature pantry. I'm gonna go with these wheat thins, of course raisins, and more raisins. Retro Mini Brands gives us a can of pineapples. I'm gonna add these too. We got a whole box of bananas here from Retro Mini Brands, and maybe a few cans of soup. And what about a few customs, like our Froggy Pop, inspired by Olipop? But these are totally going to roll around on the shelf. So, let's take a little clear plastic from packaging. Let's cut a large piece. I need a storage container that is at least 3/4 inches wide. So on the clear plastic, let's score a line 3/4 inches from the edge. Then I move the ruler over another 3/4 inches, score a line, and repeat one more time. But this time, we're gonna cut all the way through. Now we have a piece that's divided into 3 sections. Let's score a perpendicular line 3/4 inches from the edge. Can you see that? Our shelves are 1 3/4 inches deep, so I'm gonna score a line at 1.5 inches just to be safe. Then another one 3/4 inches from that one. But this time I cut all the way through. We should have a grid. I make cuts on the sides, then fold on the scored lines. So the cut side is on the outside, bend it to make a box, secure it with a little clear tape. I did my best to keep it neat, but I got a few air bubbles. But honestly, as long as it looks good from the front, I'm good. We can place the cans inside, then place it on the shelf. We can place a little poster putty on the bottom to help keep the container stationary so we can move the shelf around without things falling off. Or we can just place items directly onto the shelves with a little poster putty as well. Another option is to place them on clear plastic, like we did with our mini Barbie Land figures, then add them to the shelves. For me, this is a little faster, and it's a good way to keep them on the shelf for right now until I have time to make more containers. We can make our containers or storage bins in different sizes to fit the items that we need. And they're great for items that don't want to stand up, like bags of chips, or even our DIY mini brands, like my little bags of popcorn, that we can mix in with our other minis. Let's add more items to the shelves, grouping things that go together, allowing us to see our collection and display it in the dollhouse. I have a little gap right here, so let's open some retro mini brands and try to get some more pineapples. Is there any guarantee that we're gonna find pineapples today? Nope, but we're gonna try anyway. In our first bag, we find some film. That's pretty cool. Totally not going in the pantry, but that could be a fun detail in the garage that I will one day make. Y'all, I haven't forgotten about the garage, just haven't gotten to it yet. And this is a floppy disk that could also go in the garage. But right now we need canned goods. And this is a Diet Coke. Let's try again. And oh, well, it's a can. It's beef stew. Not quite what I was looking for. And the last one is a can of tomato soup. I guess that'll work. We can place it on the shelf right next to the other one. Since this is a freestanding unit, we can combine it with our other wall boxes to create new spaces. We can even make more as our collection grows and have a walk-in pantry. But what if your doll is short and can't reach the items on the top shelf? Perhaps we can find a Kenbassador to help us out. With the help of 2 fabsome besties, I was able to get the Barbie signature Kenbassadors LeBron James doll. The Barbie signature Kenbassadors collection celebrates influential Ken figures who are creating positive change and contributing to a better world for all. We can read more about LeBron James and his foundation in the passage below, and learn that the LeBron James Family Foundation empowers and supports kids by providing resources. He opened the I Promise School for at-risk kids and builds thriving community centers to support housing, healthcare, job training, higher education opportunities, and more for families. Here's the doll in the box, and here he is out. Wait, is he made to move? No. But he is very tall, and it is possible to balance him to stand. Here he is next to a classic Ken. It looks like he's a little over 13 inches tall. Wait, let's remove the hat. Yeah, still over 13 inches. He comes with a black hat, headphones, a black sling bag. We've seen this design before. He has sunglasses, a gold-colored watch. He wears a blue and white jacket with faux pockets. The front is fuzzy. We have faux white buttons. The sleeves are a faux leather. There are a few decals on the front, the arms, and the back. Mine has a little bit of a cracking to it. There are stripes at the bottom of the sleeves, and we can see a green I Promise bracelet. The jacket is lined on the inside. He wears a black t-shirt underneath with the little plastic protector. The shirt says "We Are Family, the LeBron James Family Foundation." It has a nice collar and no opening in the back. When we remove the shirt in the plastic, we can see tattoos on his arms. They are on both sides. He wears black and white fitted pants that look like they are rolled at the bottom. He has a pair of socks or short leg warmers, see, and blue and white plastic Nikes. And here's the sculpt. He has sculpted hair and a beard, brown eyes, and a mustache. He looks really good. His body type is labeled Tall Ken. He can move at the head, shoulder, elbow, wrist, hip, and knee. Oh, and the ankle moves too. And he has pockets. The pants Velcro in the back, and he has a suggested retail price of $75. He comes with a doll stand and a certificate of authenticity, letting us know this is a black label doll. I love that Ken is getting some attention, and that we're getting new sculpts and body types. So big shout out to Ken Collector and Kenny Doll 2023 on Instagram, because now the dolls have a friend who can reach stuff on the top shelf. Thank you for joining us while we made some much needed storage for our mini brands and checked out our new Kenbassador doll. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to ring the bell and follow us on Instagram and YouTube at MyFroggyStuff and Bella of MyFroggyStuff on Instagram. And we will see you next time. Bye!